Hello to God's beautiful people. It's Fran with Into the Marvelous Light. If you are new to my channel, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. Welcome over to the family of empaths, highly sensitive people, children of light, people of peace. Let's walk together into the marvelous light. And speaking of that, one aspect of walking into the marvelous light is coming into knowledge, coming into understanding, coming into wisdom, coming to yourself, waking up, coming out of darkness and arriving at the truth. This is when you begin to have revelation. You begin to have epiphanies. You begin to have a moment of awakening, and you come into the knowledge of the truth. You think back over your life, you think through things, and you figure them out. One aspect that I have started to figure out is the approval trap. Being caught up in trying to win the approval of someone. One thing that I have started to figure out is being caught up in an approval trap. Particularly, this makes you susceptible to narcissistic abuse. Narcissists, toxic people, and manipulators would love to have you on that constant puppet string. They will never give you the time, attention, care, concern, and love that you need. They just want to dangle it in front of you and keep you on that string. The enemy comes to throw traps our way, come to throw stumbling blocks, come to put us in pits. And one of these pits is trying to prove your worth, feeling like you have to work for approval. You have to work for the basics. You have to work for what should be automatically given to you, naturally given to you, freely given to you. Having you feel like you don't deserve the bare minimum. Let's dive into that today. When I think about being caught in an approval trap, I have to go back to think about, how did this get started? How did I get to a point to where I thought that I had to work for the love of a narcissist? How did it get to the point to where I thought that I had to work for love, period? It goes back to the childhood. It goes back to the mother womb. It goes back to the things that you never got. It goes back to the things that you are missing. You didn't get the proper affirmation. You didn't get the proper encouragement. You didn't get the proper reinforcement. You didn't get the nurturing, and you didn't get the affection. Your needs were basically ignored. You were neglected in several ways. How did you get to a place where no child should actually be? A lot of times you wouldn't get acknowledgement, praise, or affirmation unless you did certain things like get good grades or do your chores. These type of things started to make you become an overachiever. It made you feel like you had to work for the basics of what should have been freely given to you. You are enough on your own to be loved and affirmed. It shouldn't have had anything to do with what you did or did not do. You should be loved simply because you were someone's child, someone's baby. Going through something like this as a child creates lots of different things for you. It creates anxiety. It creates some level of fear. You feel deprived, you feel abandoned, and you feel neglected. Unfortunately, growing up in this fashion can make you naturally drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable. And it makes you keep having to work, keep having to perform, keep having to search for love in the places where you'll never get it, where it's actually not available for you. You become determined to make someone love you. You don't understand why you can't get love from certain people. You find it hard to accept and hard to comprehend. You become drawn to people who are prone to leave you, prone to neglect you, and prone to ignore you. You feel incredibly unseen, and you keep trying to be seen by a person that has their mind made up that they will not see you. This is different from attention seeking. You are not attention seeking. You are just trying to be acknowledged. You are trying to be your best self, hoping that the person in front of you that you love will love you back. And unfortunately, they don't, because they don't have the capacity. They don't know how to love a soul such as yours. And this keeps you in constant disappointment, constant heartache. This type of dynamic can keep you in a state of limbo. You keep trying to see the good in others who refuse to see the good in you. And even if they do see the good in you, they still choose not to honor it, not to cherish it, and not to do right by it. You keep showing up to people, showing up in front of people, and they still refuse to see you. You keep putting out your best. You keep being kind and loving, forgiving, tenderhearted, and people still refuse to acknowledge you. They don't see you, and they don't give you any love back. It's very painful. It's very tragic, and it's very repetitive in the amount of damage that it does to you. It can be a vicious cycle of you choosing one toxic partner after another, one manipulator after another, one user after another. Even though it gets harder and harder for you to trust people, you still have this level of hope on the inside that one day you will find someone who will see you and who will love you. You are still that child hoping and longing for someone, just one person, to love you. You're not trying to date everybody. You're not trying to date any and everybody that comes along. Any person will not do. All you're looking for, all you're hoping for, all you're searching for is just one. You're trying to get to that one thing that you never had. You found that no matter what you do for some toxic people, no matter how much you bend over backwards for manipulators, they will never give you what it is that you're seeking. You keep trying to prove your worth to people who don't realize your worth, and if they do realize it, they still won't honor it. You keep trying to prove your worth as if you don't realize that you are worthy, that you already have worth, that you don't have to prove it. You don't understand that people who actually love you will not have you to prove your worth. It's not necessary because they will already see it. They will see it because of who you are. Naturally, on your own. Naturally on your own without having to do much. They love you just because of who you are. They love you just because of you being yourself. They love you without you having to jump through hoops and tap dance, perform, empty your wallet, etc. You cannot afford to allow people to keep taking advantage of the fact that you don't know your worth, that you're trying to gain their approval, and etc. Once you figure out how you got there, you have to figure out how you're going to get out. You know now how you got to that approval trap. Now you have to figure out how are you going to get out. The first thing you're going to do to get out of this approval trap is to come into the knowledge that God has already approved you. You studying the Bible to show yourself approved, a workman in the gospel who need not be ashamed because you are rightly dividing the word of truth. You are worthy of love because God is love. You are worthy of love because God made you. He made you in his image. God is your Father. You are worthy of love. No matter what enemy tried to come along and make you think that you are not worthy, that is a lie from the pits of Hades. You are completely worthy of the love of God. The next thing that you have to come into the knowledge of is you have to love yourself as you love your neighbor. You cannot go outside of yourself to look for love. You have to have it internally first. Love yourself. Know the reason that you are worthy of love. Then you should be able to repel those who don't love you, repel those who don't show you love. Resist the enemy so that he will flee from you. Just because you can see the pain in others because you've gone through pain doesn't mean you should attach yourself to that pain. You keep attaching yourself to users and takers and manipulators because you can see their pain. You can see the very childhood wound that they have because you have the same wound. The difference between an empathic soul such as yourself and a toxic soul is your choices. You have made a choice to be a good person. You have made a choice to walk in the light. Manipulators, users, toxic people, and narcissists have made the opposite choice. Once you know that God loves you, you have to realize that you need to love yourself for that very reason. And once you love yourself, you will know how to properly accept the love from others. You will know what love looks like when you know what God looks like. When you know what the love of yourself looks like, you will know how to properly identify love from others and not fall into any type of approval trap. God is love, and God's love was free. He gave his life for us. God so loved the world that he gave his life. Love is going to be giving. It's not going to take away from you. Love is not going to continue to pull and take from you and never give you anything. Love is not going to continue to give you something that you don't deserve. Love is not going to sit up and ignore you and abandon you. God will never leave you nor forsake you, and love shouldn't either. You don't need to seek any approval because you are already approved. You don't need to seek out any worth because you are already worthy. You have value. You are a good thing. You deserve to be loved. You can't worry about who does not approve of you, who does not see your worth, and who does not see your value. Those people you have to learn to wash your hands of. Those people you have to learn how to kick the dirt off your feet and move on from. Save yourself. Do not fall into the trap of trying to prove your worth or trying to get the approval of others. Just continue to walk into the marvelous light.